welcome to Bruce Sellery. So he's joining us now to tackle a big topic. How to get your financial footing back during these stressful times. It is so good to see you, Bruce. I'm wondering, what are you hearing from people right now?
I heard this great expression, we're all in the same storm, but we're not all in the same boat. So there are millions and millions of people that have been laid off, and they're facing the harsh reality of a massive cash flow deficit. But then at the same time, there are people who haven't been laid off, they're working from home, and they're not spending any money, so they're dealing with a surplus. So I think it's really important for people to be compassionate that we're not all feeling the same experience, even though we're dealing with the same social isolation and all that kind of stuff. Our financial situations can be very, very different.
Ooh, a surplus sounds pretty good right about now. Now, for those that are really under financial stress, how do they even start to think about getting their financial footing?
Start with creating a context for your money, which is basically another way to say, why are you focused on your money? A context is the setting in which an event occurs. And it makes an enormous difference if you have an empowering context, right?
Okay, so help me out here. What might be some examples of context for your money?
So it could be something like finding your financial footing, or Feed the Family, or the Pivot Project, or Operation Gratitude, which I know sounds kind of Pollyanna, like, it's kind of annoying that I would even bring that up. But which team do you want to be on? Do you want to be on Team Poor Me, or do you want to be on Team Feeding My Family? So having an empowering context, it doesn't make the work to be done any easier, but it can mitigate the stress, and it can be very much easier. It can be so much easier to take the actions you need to take when it's about feeding your family.
So you're saying we kind of need to climb out of that role of victim a little bit, which is a message that some people might be saying, Bruce, I don't know if I'm ready to hear that right now. I'm under major financial stress.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone?
Yeah. I don't know if they're ready either. And certainly it's tough love, right? The message is tough, but the love is abundant and the love is real. I think it's really important to know that some of our viewers are pointing at the screen saying, he doesn't understand me. And some of our viewers are going, I hate what he's saying, but it's time for me to get my big girl or my big boy pants on and get into action on this kind of thing, because it's really, really important to know where you are and what you're dealing with. And that begins with looking at the very basics of your cash flow, what money's coming in and what money is coming out. That's really the most important first step.
Now, when you have that gap between your income and your expenses, what do you do?
So short term, it's very simple what there is to do. You take advantage of the government programs and the programs offered by the banks and the utility providers, and you see what you can do to defer payments on a whole bunch of things, defer payments and access benefits. The longer term questions, I think, is what we're getting to now. There are some industries that have been completely decimated and businesses that will not survive. And these are the times when you need to ask the existential questions to say, when it's about feeding my family, what is it that I can do to earn income? Because for a lot of families, that's what it's down to. It's not like pursuing my purpose and do what you love and the money will follow. It's no, I need to figure out what is going to pay me money and pursue that because I have a mortgage to pay.
Yeah, these are tough decisions to be making right now, for sure. Let's talk a little bit about the pitfalls, because there are some pitfalls people will encounter that are in this position right now.
Number one, I don't want to. And I mean, that's the truth. A lot of us just don't want to. We want the life that we had a couple of months ago. We want the summers. We want the social life. We want all that. Well, you know what? We can't have that. Number two pitfall is this aversion to change. It is just easier to keep our heads in the sand. And it's, a fundamental way that human beings operate, that we just want things to be the way that they are. But the third pitfall is not taking care of yourself, which I know might seem paradoxical. Give it, I'd be like, you must go earn a living for your family. But it's so important to have a resource to vent to have the little rituals that make you able to, function throughout the day. Choose your favorite superhero, Tracy, and apply this metaphor. Even Superman needs a day to wash his cape. Even Wonder Woman needs a day to polish her invisible jet. So even though I'm asking you to be give yourself some tough love, I also want to make sure that people take care of themselves, because the road ahead is not going to be all that much easier than the road we've been walking on for the last couple of months.
Wow, Bruce, good advice. I like that. A lot to think about there. A lot of psychological things happening right now, and you always manage to add that into the money conversation, so thank you for that.